Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to United versus Everybody. I know, long time no see, right? It feels like forever since we last spoke. I am your host, Sean, and I am back today after this morning's three thoughts on United's loss to Brighton. Go ahead and watch the video if you haven't yet when you're done here. But obviously, we had to come back today because got a little bit of breaking news. Literally, just as I ended the stream earlier, jumped on Twitter real quick, just as I was getting settled back into everything at home. And of course, we get a David Ornstein bomba regarding Scott McTominay. So strap in, like the video, subscribe to the channel, put on your underwear. We are going to dive into this breaking news, get your thoughts on it, share a little bit of my thoughts, and maybe take a quick look at what that means for this week for Manchester United's transfer business. So let's get stuck in. So according to David Ornstein, the big news is Napoli agreed to a deal with Manchester United for Scott McTominay, subject to all parties being satisfied on player terms, 30 million euros, and United will also get a percentage of the future sale. So no add-ons, just a straight up 30 million, and then that future sell-on clause, which we've seen a lot of. He's probably not going to go for 30 million when he does leave Napoli, but we'll still get some of that. So that does help, which honestly is very good. Ornstein continues, says it's important for United's FFP compliance. Ugarte potential signing would be aided by McTominay's exit. Again, I think this is a good deal for McTominay. 27 academy product, so it's all profit. He's going in, I think, the final year of his contract, so it's good price. That's about the same kind of price that was being floated around for like Yusuf Fofana and things, similar kind of profile going for in the last year of his contract. And it is comparable to what we've seen some of these other random players in the Premier League go for. I still think it's probably too low when you compare McTominay to someone like Emile Smith-Rowe or something. But at this point, if this is what, and I said it earlier, if this is the few million, is going to make the difference between strengthening the squad based because of FFP, PSR, then we need to just do it. So if it's going to keep us from Ugarte, if it's going to keep us from somebody else, then we need to just get it done. So continuing on here, so Sport Italia via Get Italian Football News, they've added that reports that the medical could take place as early as Tuesday, and we could get an official announcement on Wednesday. So I think that personal terms need to be agreed on this deal as well. Not everyone's going to be happy about this deal. I know a lot of United fans do really like McTominay. They do really love, the academy players. They do really like what McTominay brings to the side in terms of his effort, his passion, how hard he works. Like, he gets it. Like, what we've talked about that in our award show. I know my friend Justin's not going to be happy about this. He really likes McTominay. He actually voted McTominay as our player of the season last year in the award show. Again, go watch that video if you haven't yet. It's a really fun video. Usman, welcome back, bud. How are you? Did you see the news, my friend? We are chatting about the big news today. But as far as McTominay goes, I know some people aren't going to be happy about this, but I think we have to make these sort of big decisions if United want to level up, right? If we want to reach level 16, learn quick attack, and start fighting the big battles, we need to make these kind of ruthless calls. This is going to go for players like Luke Shaw. I did that video on Shaw yesterday. This is going to go for players like Rashford if he doesn't have a big year. I did that video last week on Marcus Rashford. All of this. It's not anything personal. It's just that, are you working? Are you producing? Are you maintaining the level that's deserving of starting in the squad? This isn't me saying that McTominay is the reason we haven't leveled up and we haven't been challenging, but we simply have to improve the overall quality of our squad, and we have to do better than McTominay, especially if, the opportunity arises, and if someone's interested in these kind of players who maybe we're questioning, whether or not we want to keep them around. I love McTominay's passion. I love the fact that he came through the academy. He spent over 20 years at United, and I'm thankful for the goals he scored, especially last season. But you have to ask yourself right now, I want you to ask yourself this question. Look in the mirror if you need to, if that's what it's going to take to get this introspective right now. Does McTominay walk into the squad, not the starting 11 even, I'm just saying the squad of any other Premier League club that's challenging for the title or even challenging for top 4 right now? Does McTominay even get into that matchday squad? Ask yourself that hard question. And it's not me trying to insult him, make it personal. It's me asking some hard questions that I think some fans and Ineos and Ten Hag need to ask themselves. Danny, welcome back, man. He says party time is 100% done, Sean. I think that as of right now, we got the Ornstein bomba. We got reports he's heading for the medical. I think that the final personal terms are to be agreed. I read somewhere the other day that it was like a 4-year contract that he had agreed to, which I think it's just the final details of the medical, and it's like the dotting the I's and crossing the T's on the personal terms. But as of right now, it is the Ornstein bomba. We are here reacting to the news. I'm here to get your thoughts, share a little of my own. Mustafa, welcome to the channel. It's true about McTominay joining Napoli. I am going by what David Ornstein has told us today, what Fabrizio Romano is telling us today, what other outlets, Get Italian Football News, are telling us. That it's going to be personal terms anew. The medical could take place on Tuesday, so we will see. It'll probably advance a little bit more today and tomorrow. We'll probably get some more, but it does sound like he could be traveling tonight or tomorrow to go do that medical with Napoli. So again, the question I asked is, when you look at yourself, when you look at McTominay, and again, not being personal, but does he get into the matchday squad, not the starting 11, the matchday squad of any other team that's challenging for the title or even challenging for top 4 right now? It's a hard question. And can we improve on him in terms of bringing in another player? It's anyone's guess if Ten Hag wanted to keep McTominay or not. I know I've said many times, and I still believe it, that Ten Hag likes McTominay. I think we've seen how much he relies on him when we need something different, something extra, some passion. He scored some important goals for us. I think him bringing him on at Brighton, we all were left scratching our heads. Maybe it was Ten Hag kind of last-ditch effort, maybe try to keep him or something. I don't know. I think that just based on how he's used him in key moments over the last few years, I think he likes him. It sort of seems like Ineos have basically said, listen, we want to strengthen the squad. We want to move forward. We want to stamp our authority on this squad. We want our handprints all over this, but we need money. McTominay is money, and that's just what it is. Do you want to get Ugarte? Do you want to get another midfielder or not? This is what we need, and I think that we're in that situation right now with finances based on the previous regime, overpaying for players, paying them too much, and buying really the wrong players, and we're not able to make sales. That we're in this PSR situation, that we have to sell academy products who maybe didn't need to be sold, who could have maybe stuck around and been options while they developed, like Garner. I was really bummed when we sold Garner. Elanga, another one, Willy Kambwala, and now maybe McTominay. I think Kambwala could have been a good 4th choice. I'm not going to say I would have kept him and not gotten Yoro or DeLid. I'm just saying he could have been 4th choice at some point. I probably would have taken him and kept him over Maguire, but who knows? But I think that in some of these cases, these players want to go and play, and I don't fault them for that. I'd rather have them go play and then rot on the bench, like we've seen some players do. Plus, that sell-on clause is a good bonus, so it does help. Danny B says, no, he doesn't get in any prem bar the bottom 6. Abao, welcome, but Abao Williams says, is it true? We're going by what Ornstein and Fabrizio Romano have dropped on us in the last couple hours. Like I said, I did that live stream this morning on my 3 thoughts on the Brighton match, and literally as soon as I ended the stream, the news dropped, so figures. But we are here to get you guys' thoughts. You got 12 of you in the chat. 3 like button. Hit that like button for me, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. And most importantly, get your thoughts in the live chat. Let me know what you think about the news. Is it a good idea or not? I did that video earlier in the week, should Manchester United sell Scott McTominay? Go check that one out too. That was back when the Sander Berge links were really, really heavy. Danny B says, Kambwala, I heard, had an excellent debut. Yeah, I don't watch a ton of La Liga, so I don't know how he did on his debut. I was never not impressed with Kambwala when he played for us, when called upon last year. I thought he really, really good, especially against Liverpool. But it is what it is, right? I think that where we are in terms of PSR, we are where we are, right? That's why some of those players have gone, including McTominay. I think this is also a good move for McTominay personally. He's 27. It sounds like he wants to play regularly. I think he backs himself to play regularly. He's done a couple interviews over the years where it's clear that he backs himself. He's confident in himself, and I don't mind that at all. I'd rather have players confident in themselves than not, right? We saw that with Dean Henderson as well. He wants to play regularly. It sounds like maybe that's what Conte has kind of assured him. Otherwise, I don't know if he would be so open to the move. In any case, best of luck, Scott McTominay, as I called you many, many times. Do you guys have any favorite McTominay memories in a United shirt that stick out or any big memories that stick out at you? Maybe we spoke about it in the awards show. One of the moments of the season nominees was McTominay coming on against Brentford and scoring 2 goals in stoppage time to win us that game. I remember he scored 2 goals against Leeds under Ollie. That was a pretty good one. I think mine's probably got to be that long range lob that he put against Ederson in the derby right before COVID lockdown. Remember that Ederson? See, Ederson doesn't get enough flack for some of these errors and some of these gaffes and howlers that he makes. But yeah, Ederson basically just threw the ball to McTominay. McTominay just kind of caressed it and chipped it right over him long range. Old Trafford was bumping. It was awesome. That was a good moment. Yeah, Danny says last season against Brentford. Yeah, dude, Danny, that one against Ederson, that one will stick out at me. Like I said, McTominay has a good shot on him. I'll give him that. Mustafa, what about Ugarte? Because he is the proper person to fix our problem in our defensive midfielder. We are going to talk about Ugarte just in a second. You're way ahead of me, bud. So how does this potential sale, I'm still going to say potential because obviously he's not holding up a shirt or anything, but I think when Ornstein drops the bomba, you can probably take that to the bank these days. But how does this impact the rest of our transfer window? As Ornstein claimed, the sale is important for our FFP compliance. Remember, we're actually doing pretty well right now with FFP, given the amortization of the players that we purchased and then some of the sales that we've done. And then you have to also consider the sell-ons that we put in a lot of these sales too. We're actually doing really, really well right now. And then too, if you add in how much wages we've gotten off the books just this summer alone, that's a big, big deal. So we're not doing too horribly, but there are still limitations. It's not, you can't just, money is finite because of the rules, not just because of the limitations of your owner's wallet. You can have super rich owners, but you're not supposed to be able to spend more just because you're rich. Irfane, welcome back, bud. It's very hard to watch Man United still not play sexy football. Well, it is what it is. I've said way before Ten Hag even arrived, when we were linked with him, when we were looking at him, I told people when he was coming in, we're probably not going to get this exciting, this fast-paced, this Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, like 4, 5, 6 goal games. We're not going to play that way. You don't tend to get that kind of style under Dutch managers. They're very system over player. They're very pragmatic. They're very high percentage passes, possession, careful, sometimes to the point where it's super, super boring. And I tried to warn people, because I didn't have a channel yet at that point, but I tried to warn people, like, you're going to have to be patient, because it's not going to be what we saw under Ollie at all. It's not even going to be what we saw under Mourinho in terms of the counterattacking, park the buck stuff. We're not going to get that. It's very player reliant, similar to how Pep Guardiola does. Only difference in that regard, in terms of the player reliance and system specifics, is that Pep Guardiola has a blank checkbook to go out and just get whoever he wants to. And so his system does work because he gets the best players in there for it. It is what it is. I'm not saying that that's the only difference between Pep and Ten Hag. I'm just saying when your style is so very player specific in terms of tactics and stuff, you have to have a certain caliber of player. And Ten Hag walked in, and we've still got Mourinho players. We've still got Rashford, who was a Louis van Gaal promotion. Things like that. Luke Shaw still have. So it's hard. It's going to take time. He didn't walk into the kind of club that like Arne Slot walked into or something. He didn't walk into the clubs that Pep Guardiola has walked into recently. We didn't spend $2 billion in 2 years like Chelsea have to get these players in. And yes, Cole Palmer, in my opinion, is better than Rashford. Madueke is a very good player. I like Madueke when he was at Eindhoven. I know we've been linked recently with Bakayoko, who's kind of like Madueke's replacement promotion kind of ish at Eindhoven. Both of those players worked under Ruud at Eindhoven. So I think that there's familiarity there. Dippers up 1-0. Great. Awesome. Looking forward to the weekend, right? So anyway, so this is important for our FFP compliance. The Manuel and Ornstein added that Ugarte's potential signing would be aided by Scott McTominay's exit. And so United Muppeteers also adds that the sale of McTominay will help United in finalizing payment structures for Ugarte with more flexibility than they had before, expecting this to be wrapped up shortly. So there's a chance this could see the Ugarte deal get locked up now for the full sale rather than a loan with an obligation. If it sounds like we're working on payment structures, we will see. Because again, it's the amortization. Yes, it looks like we've said, oh, we're going to pay this much for Xerxes, this much. Yeah, and it doesn't come out all at once. It's amortized. You're probably paying like 5, 6, 7, 8 million over each year for the next several years. That's how clubs have been doing it for the longest time. Chelsea just exploited that by offering these clubs like 8-year deals on these contracts and amortizing it over a longer term. That's how they get away with it. In any case, I don't think Ugarte is the McTominay McTominay replacement. They're very similar players. McTominay is not a 6. He's not really a midfielder, honestly, in many regards. Ugarte is a 6. He is a Casemiro replacement, basically. And then we did also get the reports, though, too, that we were looking at 2 midfielders. Back when we were linked with Berga, back when we were linked with Fofana, we were told that these are independent from the Ugarte deal. Ten Hag also said he wants 2 players in each position. And if McTominay goes, we no longer have that. So even if we bring in Ugarte, could we see a return of Amrabat? Could we see Rabiot? Rabiot still rolling around out there as a free agent. Could Collier? Collier is probably the most likely person who's maybe going to start featuring a little bit more and more in that role. I think that he's looked very good. He offers something that McTominay doesn't, which is just defensive tactical awareness in terms of when to step up, when not to step up, how to sweep up, how to make a good challenge and things. I think McTominay hides from that a little bit too often. Mustafa says, Dan Ashworth are trying for the transfer policy at the same time. Sancho need to leave and Rashford need to be benched. Garnacho and Ahmad need to be combined against Liverpool. Yeah, we spoke about that earlier in the video on the 3 thoughts on the Brighton match. Probably it's time to maybe think about benching Rashford for a little bit. I would actually give Mainu a rest. Mainu's looked pretty tired as well. I'd probably push Mount back a little bit, put Bruno back in the 10 and start Xerxes against Liverpool. We want to start with our strongest 11, in my opinion, and then we can see how it goes. But you don't want to have to bring on your better players when you're chasing a game, because we've seen that doesn't really go very well. So who do you guys think maybe could come in? Obviously Ugarte probably going to get that over the line this week. Hopefully, Ten Hag said he wants 2 players in each position. If McTominay leaves, and even if we get Ugarte, we're not going to have that. So again, Amrabat, Rabiot, Collier. Let me know your thoughts. There's another player out there. So Belgian club Cercle Brugge let go of a Portuguese midfielder. He's a free agent. His name is Leo Lopez. He's actually still a free agent, 25 years old, could come in and do a job as well. There are options out there, is my point. If you have a little bit of time and a little bit of scouting and you're just looking around a little bit, you can find some good options. And so I think that we'll see maybe 2 more players come in before the end of the window. Probably Ugarte within the next few days, hopefully. If we don't get Ugarte in before the Liverpool match, like I said earlier, I'm going to lose my shit. Irfan, Ugarte, I need now. Still too long. It's been a month of the Ugarte is close, a matter of days, personal, all this. It's been like it's like you're playing horse. You ever play horse in basketball? It's like a here we go with Ugarte. We're still waiting on that final O to get that deal over the line. Danny B says, Ugarte, Collier, and a left back. I think we need a Sancho replacement too by January. Yeah, we do need a Sancho. Honestly, we need a Sancho and an Ante replacement. If we got better both brought in another quality winger and then maybe revisited the Rashford thing next summer, because I think we can do better than Rashford. If we got rid of Rashford, go get me Kvaratskhelia. Let him play. Let him rotate, do what we got to do. Mustafa says, I prefer Amrabat than any. Yeah, Amrabat, I mean, there was links that, we were still kind of keeping him on hold for a little bit. He was still on the club's website until like last week or so, I think. He had pictures in the new strip and everything. So obviously that option to buy from him last season with the loan was like 20 million. I didn't think we were going to pay that. It sounded like we let that lapse. So maybe we come back in for a lower deal. And then we did the video talking about how Fiorentina needed some money because of their stadium build, and maybe they were willing to lower their price. So that one's not totally done yet, but we'll see what happens. Irfan, me, my best 11 is Ahmad, Garnacho, Xerxes, Mainu, Ugarte, Bruno Martinez. I think you mean Mezraoui there. Dalit, Dallo, Onana. I need Kvaratskhelia, Nico Williams, Rafael Leao, Victor Osimhen. Rafael Leao in the last year or so for me hasn't really been it. I know Nico Williams just got a new shirt number as well at Bilbao, so I don't think he's going anywhere anytime soon. Osimhen has been pretty quiet last year after that big breakout year. I think he had his heart set on going someplace a year ago, and that didn't happen. But we'll see. I think we're set on strikers for a little while, personally, with Obi Martin coming in, with Wheatley sticking around, with Xerxes, Hoyland. We do need a left back, as Danny B says. I wish we would have prioritized that. It's making me cry just thinking about Ferdy Cadiolu going to Brighton. There are other options out there, though. I've said I really like Fran Garcia at Real Madrid. I think he's a really good left back. We've been linked with Aït-Nouri, Milos Kerkez. Reportedly, we had that meeting early in the week, and the left back looking at in planning for the future because was a priority. It didn't sound like something we were going to do this summer, which I think is a little short-sighted, but we will see. It bit us in the ass last year, this same exact time when we started the season without any left backs. I think we're probably going to see Dallo and Mazraoui run into the ground because if one of those two goes injured, who's coming in, right? Nobody. You're going to throw Harry Amos in on the deep end right away. And you can't afford to do that against like Liverpool. We've got Spurs soon, Aston Villa soon. So it's, these are the kind of decisions that have long-term impacts. Like I said, even pebbles make big ripples. So hopefully neglecting a left back when we all knew that we needed one isn't going to cost us in the long run. But I've said also that I'm not going to use that as an excuse, and I'm not going to let Ten Hag use it as an excuse this year. Ten Hag and Ineos made these decisions. Either Ineos decided not to do it, and then Ten Hag, they're kind of allowing Ten Hag to do what he needs to do, and there's not going to be much pressure, or Ten Hag opted against it, and now he doesn't get to complain. So we're going to see what happens. But so if you are just joining us, we did get an Ornstein Bomba and Fabrizio Romano update on Scott McTominay. Apparently, he has agreed to a €30 million move to Napoli. We're still waiting on personal terms. Plus, United do get a bit of a sell-on in the future. So reportedly, could get that medical done this week as early as Tuesday. Deal could be announced Wednesday. Sounds like getting the funds in could expedite our move for Manuel Ugarte. There's still potential we could get another midfielder. So let me know your thoughts. Short one today just to drop back by and give you guys an update. Like I said, I would if any breaking news drop. Because I learned my lesson from this morning, I'm going to check online real quick before I end the stream so I don't jump off and see the news like I did earlier this morning. So get your thoughts in right quick while I check on some of this, guys. I just want to make sure. So Corriere dello Sport is reporting that we're probably not going to be getting Amrabat because Fiorentina want €15 million and we don't want to pay that. Not much else going on. Nothing that. So yeah, the news confirmed today from Ornstein and Romano. McTominay set for that move. The only thing that could throw a spanner in the works is a failed medical and or just personal terms not seeing eye to eye. But it doesn't sound like there will be any issues there. So Usman, Sean is getting, I don't know what that means. Let me know what you mean, bud. But I'm going to let you guys go today. Jump on in the live chat. Let me know your thoughts. Jump on the comments after the fact. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. If you are new, get involved in the chats. Get involved in the match reactions, the transfer topics, the match previews. Don't forget, again, to come by this coming Saturday, less than a week, to talk over our transfer window. We're going to be rating the transfer window, some of these signings. We're going to be talking about our expectations for the season. Usman says Sean is getting more followers by the day. Yeah, man, we were on the road to 1,000. We were up to like mid 800s now, which it's been crazy in the best ways. So appreciate that. Big up you too, man. Mustafa says, I would love to see Martinez, De Ligt, Ugarte, Bruno, Menu, Garnacho, and Xerxes in our next max. Yeah, I think we need to start De Ligt, start Xerxes. I'd probably rest Menu, put him on the bench, and maybe start Mount deeper. If he's going to press, then I'd rather, do that. He could still get forward to press, but I'd like to see Menu, not because I think Menu's like worse than Mount. I just think Menu looks tired. So we'll talk a little bit more about that on the preview, of course. But like the video on your way out. Stop by later on this week, of course, for the match previews. And then obviously we'll be jumping on throughout the week with our, news roundups on the transfer talk and all the big events concerning Manchester United. So thank you guys for stopping by today. Thank you, everyone who came back to join in the breaking news. Danny, Irfan, Mustafa, good to see new faces. Usman, Abaho, good to see a new face as well. Appreciate you guys, and I will talk to you guys later. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.